What's up, guys? This is YeahBuoy. I'm going to teach you the best strategy for the Strait map in World of Warships Blitz. I have 4 matches to show you. First is a match where we followed a bad strategy, one that you don't want to follow. The second, third, and fourth match shows a good strategy, one that you do want to follow. And I'll explain why in each match. So first, let me start by explaining how you can know where to go based on where you spawn. Every time you play this map, no matter which side you're on, the side that spawns with 3 ships always spawns with 4 enemies on the other side. So the team that spawns on the left side of the minimap always starts with a disadvantage at A, and the team that spawns on the right side of the minimap always starts with a disadvantage at C. Because of these disadvantages, the best strategy here was for my 2 teammates and I to head straight to B, then regroup with the majority of our team at C. That didn't happen. It would have made it 7 versus 3 at C, but instead, we lingered around A, which made it much harder for us to win. Notice how our cruiser at A and the enemy destroyer at C are both about to get sunk. Both of these players were in a zone that they spawned in front of with a disadvantage from the start, but they both chose to go into those zones anyway. At the start of the match, if the 3 of us at A had instead gone to B and C, we would have demolished the 3 enemies at C 7 versus 3. Then we could head back to B for the rest of the match and finish off the remaining enemies. Alternatively, at the start of the match, if 1 or 2 of the enemies had went to B, it would have been 3 of us versus 1 or 2 of them. So we would have outnumbered them, plus been in range for backup from our 4 teammates that spawned at C. In the next match, I'll show you what it looks like when this strategy is put into practice. However, I suppose you may want to see the rest of this match first. As I said earlier, we followed a bad strategy and it almost cost us the match. As you saw, our cruiser at A got sunk because he was outnumbered, which we knew was the case from the moment we spawned on this side. We also lost our other cruiser at C at that same time, which left us quickly outnumbered 5-4. We capped all 3 zones, but within the next 1.5 minutes, it became 4-3, and the enemy team took control of 2 zones, A and C. Thankfully, about 20 seconds later, we sunk 2 of the 4 enemies, which made it 3 of us versus 2 of them. But the enemy controlled 2 of the 3 zones. My teammate and I worked together to take out the Bayern, then he capped A while I turned towards C. With about a minute left, we still didn't have control over C, which shouldn't have been the case because we spawned with an advantage at C. Nevertheless, we won our match with a bad strategy. Now let me show you a good strategy. In this second match, I spawned at C instead of A. Since my side spawned with 4 ships, I knew there were only 3 enemies on the other side. So the best strategy was for my side to sail straight ahead into C, sink the 3 enemies, then defend B for the rest of the match. If you'll notice, 2 of our teammates that spawned at A started heading straight to B, which made this much easier. However, 1 of the 2 stopped between A and B and got sunk, while the other regrouped with the rest of us at C and helped us secure this side. Do you see how there are 4 enemies at A? Every time you play this map, 4 ships spawn on the right side of A and 3 on the left. The opposite happens at C. Take a screenshot of these numbers. Now let's back up to the beginning and walk through this match. My side went straight ahead into C because we spawned with an advantage of 4 versus 3. 2 enemies got to C before we did, but it wasn't a problem because we had the 4-3 advantage. After taking out the cruiser, it was time to dodge some torps and cap C. Our cruiser from A arrived at about this time, which made securing C very easy since it became 5 versus 2. Props to Captain Platypus and the Kirov, our cruiser that came from A, because they followed this exact strategy. So we sink the New York and then it's 6 of us versus 4 of them. Keep an eye on the enemy destroyer on the minimap. He turned straight toward me and then disappeared, so I decided to set some bait. I showed him my full broadside while throwing my ship into reverse. He came out of concealment and then was probably like, Dang, look at that broadside. Now's my chance. And I was like, yes, yes it is. Please take it. So then I just kept my ship in reverse as I took in the moment rather than the torpedoes. It was beautiful. We ended up sinking the whole enemy team with 6 of us still alive. Notice how our only teammate that got sunk was the one that lingered around A too long, which was where he spawned outnumbered 4-3. This third match is a ranked match from Season 4 where both teams followed the best strategy. This match had many of the highest ranked players at the time, which is exactly why both teams followed the best strategy. Notice on the minimap how both of the sides that spawned with 3 players are headed straight toward B, with the exception of one enemy battleship that decided to stop in front of C. Bad strategy for him because he had no support. He might have taken a lot of damage sailing toward B, but that would have been great for his team because he could have wasted our time by soaking up our damage, then sailing away between the 2 middle islands. Then he could have repaired his health and regrouped with his teammates at A and turned the tide in their favor. Anyway, this was a really great match. I uploaded it to YouTube in 2018 in my video titled Ranked Season 4 Tips and Tricks. Check it out after this if you want to hear my advice back then and compare it to today. It's got a lot of great information that I didn't include in this video. I have one more match to show you, this time from the other side of the map. I spawned in front of A with 3 other teammates. Since 4 of us were at A, that meant that only 3 enemies were on the other side, and it will always be this way if you spawn where I just spawned. So our best strategy was to sail straight ahead and utilize our advantage, 4 versus 3. Pay close attention to the minimap and see what happens with our other 3 teammates that spawned in front of C. One of them sailed straight to B, which was perfect. He was one of my fleet mates by the name of Silent Knight. Also notice that one of our cruisers sailed straight into C and got obliterated by 3 enemy battleships. He could have survived if he had went to B to meet up with the 4 of us at A. When your team is on the right side of the minimap, there's no reason to sail ahead into C because you're already outnumbered from the very beginning. So let me speed through this. It started as 4 versus 3 at A, but one of the enemies didn't show up, so it was 4 versus 2 at A. Then quickly became 5 versus 1 at A since we sunk one of the enemies and our battleship at B became in range. While we sailed toward B and C, the missing enemy at A appeared and we quickly took them out. So then it was 6 versus 3 and we controlled 2 of the 3 zones. Easy win with the right strategy. Guys, if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want some awesome YeahBuoy merchandise, check for a link in the description. More videos coming soon, so I'll catch you guys next time.